But, like, I already knew that run was gonna fail. I didn't have enough movement. It's monsoon plus modifiers, yeah. First item again. So just movement. Get more movement this time. If even possible. Like, I don't know that I had that many options where I chose to not get movement when I could have. So... Okay. Is this like a one item stage here? Or you? Of course you're a PSG. Why wouldn't you be? Truly, what other item could I possibly value more than a PSG? That's a red item. Dang. Sometimes gotta call your shots. And the mobility isn't important for the escape sequence. You have so much time. Mobility is really only needed for the boss itself, I think. Yeah, if PSG worked like Guardian's Heart, it might be better. Cool. Oh my gosh, there's another one. And here I was thinking that this was just like a one-item stage for a second. Oof. Eclipse is a harder mode. That's all. It's just like harder monsoon. No, that's one of the things they added. It's in the alternate game modes menu. Alright, this is nice. And I've got a lot of scrap fodder. Yeah, too bad they nerfed barrier. I mean, it makes sense that they nerfed barrier, but too bad. One-shot protection is better now than it used to be. They only just buffed it. So now you have at least a few frames of protection, or like at least one frame of protection. 2 hits in the same frame won't kill you, whereas before they would. So I mean, yeah, death in this game still isn't really super fair a lot of the time, but it's a little better. The likelihood that something happens that 2-shots you like that, though, or 2-shots you quickly enough, I'd still rather have 1-shot protection than not, when compared with being stuck with no option because of PSG. Nice job, Squid Polyp. I don't think that you survive the... Well, okay, they made worms more aggressive. Worms are like really mad at you, and they spawn like right next to you now. Like they're no longer underground some amount and like have to work their way to you. They just spawn like at ground level and instantly charge into you. So I would say you survive worms in general less now because they are just far angrier. Yeah, Huntress is a good character. Really, every character is a good character except Artificer. Overlaying worms have killed me once or twice this patch. Definitely due to the buff. Because like they actually just like all worms just actually target you more. They'll chase you down from even far away, whereas before they would just kind of like chill far away and be like, yeah, you're cool. When you get near me, I'll worry about it. But now they're like, oh, I'm worried about it at all times. So it's just really hard to get away from them. Multi definitely doesn't suck. They'll probably patch it, but right now Multi's got something really OP going on, actually. If I die this run, I'll do a multi run and show you what's up now until they patch it. All right, honestly, I just need to make some money. Stuff's not happening yet. Multi got a couple buffs this patch, in fact. The nail gun has a 0.6 proc coefficient instead of 0.4, so that's just better. I don't know how I feel about the new shotgun thing about it. Like, I kind of liked how it worked before. But, I mean, it's still the nail gun. It's still pretty strong. But double railgun is the meta until they patch it. And, I mean, it kind of sucks because Multi is already a pretty reductive character. There is not very much that you do with the character. And that build is absolutely more reductive than anything else in the game combined. Captain's really strong. Like, yeah, I think that it's fair to have a problem with Captain's skills, but Captain's primary paired with passive just make the character good completely regardless of anything else. gonna get that. I mean, hey, I'm gonna be the first person to always tell you to play the characters the way you have fun rather than the meta way. Unless the meta way is the way you have fun, in which case, hey, great for you. But like, just because one method of playing a character is stronger doesn't mean you have to play them that way. It's totally okay to just have fun. It's also totally okay not to win, not to try to win. And to have a different opinion on how the game works. That's why I always pretty much switch up my builds. Like, I don't usually play the same loadout for a character twice in a row. It's just more fun to have variety, in my opinion. Well, if you need someone to tell you what your opinions are, that's fine. If that's how you want to do it, I will not tell you you're wrong either. Just once they tell you your opinions, don't tell me that they should be my opinions as well. That's all. This is not good. There is too much junk here. See, I feel kind of exactly the opposite. I mean, yes, Artificer's movement kind of sucks, but I don't feel that that's the detriment, because Artificer's entire game plan is just float forever because enemies can't really deal with an airborne character very well. So you're like extremely safe as Artificer. It's just that your loadout, like your skill rotation and general everything just kind of sucks and is really forced. So you're like really safe, but kind of slow about winning and like really just at the mercy of a lot of items. But you can do a lot of damage with the character. Nah, Mercenary feels like I did a Mercenary run. Feels exactly the same to me. Like, you don't really have to do a lot of work to play the Mercenary. And if you're not trying to beat the final boss, the character is still easy. Like, if you're just gonna obliterate, Mercenary will have no problems if you play the same way. Yeah, Bleed's really good for, like, most characters. Bleed is the meta. If you leave Flamethrower out for the whole duration, you're doing it wrong. Well, yeah, if you leave it out for any amount of time, you're doing it wrong. As far as playing the meta is concerned. Like, as far as succeeding. I agree, though. Flamethrower is just a more fun skill for Artificer. It sucks that it's trash. I mean, the Flamethrower can do a lot of damage. It's just like, in using the Flamethrower, you have crippled yourself. Because you're now in more danger to do damage. Nice. Need to use item. And you can't even get all of the damage out, otherwise you'll just die. Eclipse you can't obliterate. You just can't. It's not there. You have to beat the final boss. I need movement. Oh my goodness, give me some speed. That could give me some speed. I know, I don't really want to fight the final boss either. But I at least want to put in some time attempting Eclipse. I want to see if I can get anywhere. If I can't get anywhere with Rex, which, I mean, really, the only obstacle is the final boss. Then either I just, like, wait for a patch, like, wait until they actually do fix the final boss, or I try a different character that might have an easier time with the final boss. What kind of sucks for Commando is the loadout I like the most has a tough time activating the bans on certain enemies. So I don't like that. Because I think the grenade does enough to activate the bans, but flying enemies, that'll be tough to do. And I would rather have the shotgun than the other one, the other second skill. But the other second skill will be way more reliable for the bans. I really want to activate this adaptive chest, but like, hello. Let me out of here. Okay, all right, it's time. Oh, that's just a ban. We're just gonna take those. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'd prefer to have the shotgun, but the default second skill would just be better as far as bans are concerned. And foregoing the bans kind of sucks because they're still really strong. But I mean, Commando would do really, really well with Bleed, and Bleed would go really, really well with the shotgun. So if you're willing to forego the bans, or if you can get along with just using the, oh, I really hope there's a scrapper on this level. If you can get along with just using the grenades to activate them, then cool. But it's kind of tough. Like, that's a disadvantageous position to put yourself in. You never thought of pause buffering the adaptive chests? I'm glad I could teach you. That's some Risk of Rain 1 strategy right there. That is a lot of imps. Hello, my friends. Do I think Crowbar becomes more valuable? I haven't really put any thought into Crowbar. It still seems kind of like something that's a little convenient, but not much of something to focus on. But that's just because I haven't put thought into it. Maybe it's super strong. I mean, when you do pair it with the bans, especially if you have both of them and a strong attack on top of that that can activate them, I can imagine it would be pretty nuts, yeah. At the moment, I feel like the equipment economy is feeling kind of solid compared to where it was at before. For a while, it was just pre-on capacitor, but now it feels like there's a decent amount of options. They kind of killed tonic, though. Unless you can get always on. And even if you get always on, you don't want it anymore at the final boss. You want to ditch the tonic for something else. Because then the final boss steals all your items, your tonic deactivates, and you've got always on, so you've got it activated several times at the same time. Because of that, as soon as it steals your stuff, a few seconds later, you've got like 20 afflictions or whatever. So that kind of really sucks. Effigy does seem like it might be kind of useful now. Like, honestly, I'm very curious to try building around it a little bit. Yeah, if the final boss took your afflictions, that would be pretty funny. Then that would make tonic, like, extremely meta. Am I gonna get another urn? No. No, I'm not. But I really want this because it's very strong. Nah, you don't really have to get that many afflictions. Like, I've found that if your build is pretty decent, you do about half the boss's health before it's finished stealing your items. You can just get 10 afflictions. Or, like, you know, 12, 15. You don't have to get 19 for the max health reduction. It just might be nice. Nah, I don't think that you need to, I don't think you need purity for that to be meta if the boss took afflictions from you. I think that it would still be meta to just take the tonic and use it all the time. Like, get a gesture and not get all of the fuel cells required right away. Or just not ever get them, I guess. Because, I mean, no matter what, the boss is going to have more afflictions than you at that point, and it can't activate tonic to get rid of them. So I think it wouldn't matter. Do I think that engineer turrets versus the boss is broken? I mean, I think that there was nothing that they could do about that. That was obviously going to be the strat. But I don't really care. That's the thing. Like, I think that if something is broken against the 4th phase of the boss, there is nothing wrong with that because the 4th phase of the boss is bad. Well, see, yeah, the boss might wreck turrets, but that's not a huge deal because you have time to summon them before the 4th phase starts. As long as you summon them before it starts stealing your items, it just doesn't matter. I think Acrid is pretty strong against the final boss, actually. If you don't mind a suggestion, I would say that the best way to fight the final boss as Acrid is just, well, first off, you want to use the default poison, not blight. And you want to just stay on the, like, platforms that have ramps on the outside of the arena and just keep shooting Pandemic. And if you use the ranged second skill, just keep shooting that as well, because getting your items back is tied to how many hits you deal to the boss during that phase, not during to how much damage or anything else. So Acrid will have a tough time getting them back, but if you stay on those raised platforms, he can't really hit you with the Vision's attack, so there's no danger to you. It's really just a patience game. If you can get to the 4th phase, you should be able to win probably with Acrid, I would say. Yes, that's correct. Infusion is 100 HP per infusion. What's the new game mode? It's just Eclipse, or it's just Monsoon, but harder. Each level, each time you beat the final boss, you unlock the next level, and the next level just adds a modifier. So the current modifier on only Eclipse 1 that I've failed, like, twice now, really late in the run. Once on the final boss, once on the 5th stage. This modifier is really simple. It's just you start each stage at half health. It doesn't matter at all for a character like Rex who just heals really easily. So basically I just kind of suck at the final boss. And Rex is pretty good against this final boss as well, so this is like totally my own failing here. Ah, yes, we will take that. Yeah, see, so here's my opinion about Acrid. Blight is way more satisfying and fun, but it is kind of objectively weaker. So I'll use Blight like half the time, but as soon as I want to do something where I'm like trying to win, where I like care about the outcome, I'm gonna switch to regular poison. And I like the bite. I think that melee Acrid is genuinely pretty fun, and like it's workable if you're pretty good, but it's definitely not better. So like again, I'll play it like half the time because it's fun. But if I wanna win, especially if I want to fight the final boss, then I'm gonna be doing poison with the ranged second skill. The bite did get buffed with the health regen thing, and I don't have an established opinion on the health regen thing yet. I haven't really put any time into it, like into noticing it. I played Acrid like once and I didn't notice, because that's just kind of not how I play Acrid. So my playstyle wasn't affected as far as like primary use, and I think that run I was doing ranged rather than melee, so like I just don't know. Why is Rex second skill alternate better? It gains value out of backup mag, so it can do a lot more damage. The AoE is really nice. It pairs well with your fourth skill. It doesn't damage you for the amount of damage that it puts out. Mostly it's the backup mag thing. If you get a bunch of backup mags and you just like spam it in one spot, the amount of damage you put out for absolute free on your health is like amazing. It just lets the character focus more on the healing aspect rather than the aspect where you're taking your own health to deal damage. And by doing so much damage without costing yourself health, you actually stay so extremely alive and safe. That's true, it also procs now. It didn't used to proc. Wow. Wow. And that's a late pickup, so that's actually really good for the final boss, because I'll get it back sooner. Yeah, I know about the scrap bug. I absolutely will take advantage of it for now, until they fix it. These are 252, right? That means we're at like 3,900 for the gold chest. And I'm just gonna farm it up. Though at this point, I don't really know what value I get out of it. Like, what's gonna be the hoped outcome? Oh, 40-47. Okay, so it is a little different. Basically, this is a great build for the final boss. Besides the 5 medkits that I have as my first item. That part's kind of bad. Boss doesn't use razor wire, so that's fine. Boss does use stealth kit, so I should probably get rid of that if I can. Just keep attacking him. Yeah, fortunately I'm Rex, so this attack will just keep doing it and keep it from activating its 5 medkits, but you know, 25% of its health and healing, if I don't hit it for like a second, means I will never kill the boss until I get back to medkits if I can't consistently attack it. So honestly, the 4th phase could be an exercise in futility if I don't get a scrapper. I would scrap it. I would 100% scrap the medkits on this build because I'm not running the second skill that damages me. And that's another thing that's kind of good about this alternate second skill, is that you can kind of forego healing items because your innate healing from your fourth skill, your primary, and if you use it, the self-damaging third skill is like more than good enough because you can just spam, like your best attack is something that you can spam that doesn't hurt you. So you can forego a lot more healing with this second skill as well, and that's another reason that it's super good. Yeah, I use the alternate third skill 100% of the time. I think it's just always better, personally. Yeah, they buffed medkit, so now it's 20 healing a second after getting hit, but it's also 5% health plus 5% health per stack. And Monster Tooth is now a percentage as well. It's 8 plus some percent. Why not open the Shrine of Combat? Oh, I don't know. Like, I just have this thing where I don't do Shrines of Combat. And that's mostly a late game holdover because in the late game, well, I have the exact amount if they were 241 for the gold chest. That's a late game holdover because it's like sometimes you'll just activate a combat shrine and it's just overloading worms when you're not ready for overloading worms quite yet. And that's just like, I don't know. They've killed me enough times in other scenarios where I just kind of don't. Brainstocks is really good, but it's not useful for the final boss. Brainstocks is absolutely this second skill's carry item. How's Eclipse mode? I mean, in Eclipse 1, everything is totally fine for Rex. So really the only reason that I've had a bit of trouble here is the final boss, basically. I messed up to die on the 5th stage once, but then the second run final boss was pretty on me. See how they just spawn on you now? That's what makes worms scary and difficult now. Like, even magma worms are a little harder. I was gonna say, please give me a perforator, and I am like, I am the most set. Look how much damage I just like spew out now. Right, the only part that's hard about Eclipse 1 is the boss. Because the boss is bad. And like, other than that, I didn't even die to that phase of the boss, which is the funny thing. So like that was completely on me. My goodness, it's life. This is so ridiculous. Perforator is such a good item. Oh my goodness, it's another life. Yeah, Eclipse 1 is you spawn at half health at the start of each level. It is meaningless. But once you get to Eclipse 8, it's meaningful. And Eclipse 5. Eclipse 5 is also a little meaningful for some characters. Rex in particular, it just doesn't matter until Eclipse 8. Oh, please. Please give me a scrapper. If I see a scrapper, I'm gonna like explode. What is going on over there? You having fun, homie? Oh, there we go. Oh, this is powerful. We're gaming now. I think that loader is fun and strong, but... Or no, sorry, not fun. I don't think the loader is fun. I think that the loader is strong and relatively easy to use. But not fun, specifically. because the character is pretty reductive. So I only play Loader in like limited capacity, like not all that often, so that it can be kind of fun when I do. Holy moly. Yeah, so my damage is like way in there. Oh, hey, buddy. I'm gonna buy the random. Yeah, that was a good call. If I get Shatter Spleen, I don't have like crit though. That's the problem. I mean, yeah, Shatter Spleen is amazing. Top tier item, but no crit here. Do I think Shatter Spleen or Molten Perforator is better? That's actually a really hard call. I don't have enough experience with both of them yet to really have a well-formed opinion, other than like a kind of reactionary one. I think that Molten Perforator is more generally useful, but as far as what I've been able to tell, Shatter Spleen is extremely powerful. So like the amount of damage it can do is great. But it also kind of depends on your build. Molten Perforator is always good, whereas Shatter Spleen will just be better if you have crit. And it will, like, you'll only notice how good it is when you have crit, probably. Probably. Again, haven't had it enough to know. But like, here's the thing about the Molten Perforator. It gives every character crowd control when some characters don't really have crowd control. Shatter Spleen is another single target, powerful damage kind of thing. As far as I'm aware, and as far as when I was trying to pay attention for it, Shatter Spleen's bleed is separate and only on crit, and does not proc from regular bleed. I don't know if Shatter Spleen ups your crit or not. Is Shaped Glass still worth stacking now? No, Shaped Glass instantly takes away your one-shot protection now. So the whole thing behind stacking Shaped Glass was that you got to such low health that one-shot protection was always going to be active and you would always heal out of it right away, but now you have no one-shot protection once you take even one Shaped Glass. So basically, it's a never take item, yeah. Yeah, I've used QOL mods, and I've used some actual gameplay mods as well. I used to play exclusively with higher scaling from, I forgot what the mod's called still. But I used to play at like 20-player scaling instead of just playing regularly, stuff like that. And when I did have mods installed, I did have the better tooltip thing. Yes, Artifact and Item Glass are different things, but Shaped Glass also removes one-shot protection now, because Curse removes one-shot protection if your health goes below such a point where you would have it. They changed it. So, yes, they are different effects, but they're still both going to kill your one-shot protection now. Oh my god. I'm like shooting myself in the foot actively. Anyway, I was never a shaped glass stacker, so that whole thing doesn't really affect me or matter to me. But I would always take it at least like once, you know? Or, well, not always, but I would often take at least one of them. Sometimes two. But I don't really mind a meta shake up. It does kind of suck that you don't even ever want to take one now, though. Like, I think that they should probably tweak it a little, basically. Like, I don't know. They've done a lot of things this patch in particular that have changed certain items from always take to never take to always take, and sometimes take to, you know, either one of those things. And I think that they could do to... There wasn't a scrapper again. Unlucky. I don't know. The game could do to have things remain viable, rather than just like by changing the meta, still give you something that's like the way to do it correctly. So it's like, yeah, you're playing differently, but like the idea is still the same in that now this item is meta, and that's what you do. What are you? That's a turret. They probably just think Rainstorm is more fun than Monsoon, so they play on Rainstorm, which is totally fine. Like, not everyone's got to play on the hardest mode, basically. Yeah, and I mean, you definitely are going to have more really good runs on Rainstorm, or using artifacts, or this or that. I mean, just, you know, playing the way they want to, which is cool. Yeah, but PSG's been a never take all along, and it was just a matter of how much you cared. I have no movement again. And I have no scrap. There were like no scrappers this whole run. How do you get artifacts? You'll find codes. Like, there are these shape codes hidden in each level. And if you enter those on a special spot on the 5th stage, and then hit enter on the computer, you will get to go to that map to get the artifact. I'm not gonna like full spoil you there, because I don't know if you want to know everything, or if you just kind of want the general idea like I gave. But I think that the unlock for them is a lot more fun than the artifacts themselves. Like, the whole game for finding the codes, basically, and the whole hunt is just really good. Do I think all characters are similar in viability in 1.0? Yeah, generally speaking. With the exception of Artificer, I think that all of the characters are pretty viable. And I will pretty much play every character except Artificer. Okay, so my damage is really good. Do you think it's balanced that you can kill Mithrix in the last phase before he takes all of your items? Yes, I think that anything in the final phase that is in your favor is balanced, because the final phase is very bad. Is there like one code per stage? There's one code on most stages, yes. There are two that are in the menu in a couple ways. And I won't spoil where those are, but yes. No stage has more than one. You can't believe they didn't take out the water. I can absolutely fully believe that they didn't take out the water. I've got to be honest with you. I am not surprised by that at all. What are my thoughts on Captain and his hacking terminal? It seemed to me, I didn't try it, but it seemed to me like there's not really much reason to use anything other than the healing one. Like, the hacking's kind of cool, but the timer doesn't exactly matter enough that that's, like, something important to focus on, in my opinion. Yes, one code is one artifact. That's correct. See, the equipment recharge seems not useful to me. And the stun one seems kind of cool. But I feel like most of your use comes out of that looping rather than anywhere else. And healing is always going to be at least somewhat relevant, I think. Especially if you're not looping. If you are looping, then I could see the stun one, I guess. Deathmark stacks for the amount of time that the debuff lasts, not for anything else. I only know about the frog thing. Oh yeah, I know about the Shrine of Order. Environment log's down there, by the way. It missed. I've been owned. Dang, bro, chill. I'm gonna need you to just sit still now. God dang it, I've been owned again. Hate that attack. Are you mad at my drone? Or like what? Do I have a... Oh, I have a stealth kit. That's kind of bad. Thank you for jumping. Alright, honestly, that was a pretty quick first phase. I wouldn't be surprised if I just died on the third phase again because I suck, but... like, beyond that, this is set up to be a good fight if I don't be dumb. I know, I also hate when I be dumb. Like, really sucks. Wow, though, my damage output is great. This is a really, really quick second phase. No, the lore in this game is not, like, hidden or in any way, like, obscure, really. So you can figure out all the lore yourself. I don't need to make a video on it. Oops. Oh, it didn't hit me. Thank goodness. Cool, I got lucky. I'm not, like, fast enough for this. Oh, that's not cool, dude. This enemy is trash, in my opinion. Okay, we're cool. We're good. Okay, I'm not going to use my active item again. What are you doing, buddy? Because I think I'm close enough to killing him that I would like to have it while I still have items in the 4th phase. Alright, buddy, whatever. Cool. So now I just want to go up here. And then this is just kind of what you do for this phase. You just chill. And then you do your best to keep hitting him because he has like 6 med kits. And he's gonna mess me up. Like, he's gonna get all his health back. He's just hit me with a molten perforator. Thanks, I hate it. Oh, nice. That'll help my DPS a good amount, I'd say. There's no reason to use my 4th skill here. So it's really just 1, 2, active. Alright, no problem. Don't do that to me. Pretty please. Why do I have TC-280 prototypes as my friends? Because of that. Oh, they're out there. That's right. What could I purchase there? My drone, my healing drone that had died. It does not take you 3.5 minutes to get across this with base movement with any character. It just doesn't. How does loader handle phase 4? Apparently with loader, actually, you can just latch on with your grapple and just spin around his head the whole time and just like spam your primary. As long as you don't have a Tesla, I guess. Can I show what happens when the moon detonates? Not on Eclipse, no. I'm not gonna do that. Unless I don't make it, of course, then I guess you'll see. When the timer hits 0, the Void Reaver Death Explosion covers the whole stage. That's kind of cool. Oh, they already know about the final phase. They mentioned it in their dev thoughts. They just said that it would take a bit of work. What characters do I find most fun? This one. You even get the same death message as when you die to avoid Reaver Explosion. Cool. Yeah, I agree completely. Taking your items away is fine. Giving the boss the item effects is not. Chaos King, thank you for the 10-month sub. Thanks so much. Appreciate you sticking around for a while like that. Woo, I'm back. Welcome back, then. So that was a great run. Can you Dio avoid Reaver Explosion? Yeah. I think. I'm pretty sure I tested that.